here on the Funny on My Mind podcast. We usually start the episode with a clap, but because we're doing it more interview style, you're going to do the clap. So I'm going to count it in, and you're just going to clap.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
3. You're going to clap.
I am.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Hopefully she makes up for it at the end of the episode when the closing clap. But welcome to another episode of the Funny on My Mind podcast, the seriously unserious podcast. As you can see, we have a different setup today. It's more of an interview style. For those of you who have seen like Vlad TV interviews where you only see the guest, that's what we're going for. Today we got my dear friend Alyssa in the podcast stew today. We're going to get into what it is that she does. We're also going to get into the false claims that happened on last week's episode, as she is Theodore's fiance and the mother of his child. So she said, when she was watching the episode last week, she said that he said some things that were incorrect. So we're here to set the record straight as well as to get into what it is that she does. Alyssa, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing pretty well. Let's take a second, right? What does your shirt say?
My shirt says, I have a warrant out for my arrest.
You know, that's a very interesting shirt, seeing as you work in law enforcement, right? So, I think not to bring race into this thing, but I think I should, because I make shirts, right? I make shirts for myself or whatever. I think I should make one of those shirts for myself.
You should.
I would like to see if I would get arrested, being not just a black man, but as my wife likes to say, a big black man. Okay, so I just like to see. So that's a great shirt. That's a great shirt. We've been talking about this all week, and then you came out of the car and you had that gem on. Okay.
My mom got me this shirt.
Your mom. Yo, shout out to Alyssa's mom, Mrs. Alyssa's mom. Okay, you're a great human being, and we love you. Okay.
We love you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a small town outside of St. Louis. It was about 25 miles from St. Louis. I went to high school in the middle of a cornfield. It's called New Baden, Illinois. Oh, yeah.
Wow. So, because St. Louis is like right on the Illinois border, huh?
Yep.
How far are you from Chicago?
4 hours.
4 hours. Okay. So you were definitely not near O Block.
No.
Okay. No problem.
I'm a Southern Illinoisan, not a Northern.
Southern Illinoisan. That's a phrase. Is that what people from Illinois are called?
I think so.
Illinoisan.
That's always what I've called it.
No. Hey, I mean, if it's not a word, it's a word at approximately 10:59. 10:59. It's a word. Illinoisan. Okay. Cool. What's something about growing up there that shaped who you are today?
Well,
you know how to grow corn.
Yeah, I know how to grow corn.
Wait, I was joking. Now, are you serious?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe one day.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't know. I grew up with a lot of people that I went to school with people that I knew my whole life. So when I was deciding to go to college, I wanted to go somewhere where nobody really knew me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to kind of just start fresh, be a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, those people are great. They're great. But I knew I wasn't going to stay there forever.
Okay. We're going to stick a quick pin in that, right? Just a little backstory about me and Alyssa's friendship. I came to MSSU, right? And I didn't know anyone. And I was like, hey, I was so bored in my dorm one day. I like literally opened my Snap map and I was like, who is near me? Because I had a lot of people on Snapchat, right?
We met at NEO before that.
Yeah, that's what was so ironic. I was like, bro, I do not remember her. But hey, bro, all I remember is texting you. I was like, bro, I'm new here. Can you please be my friend? And you were like, we're already friends. I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? I don't know her. And then you sent the picture. We had met at one of the homies' dorms. Shit came down for we were doing. I don't know. We were throwing like a little small party. Shout out T Large. I love you, buddy. But yeah, so I'm like, bro, she says we're friends. I don't know her. But hey, it worked out for the better.
It did.
Yeah. And we're still friends to this day. Okay. Who were you? Who were you before juvenile justice?
Like before I even started working there.
Yeah. Who were you?
Well, what do you mean?
I don't know. Who were you? What were you? What were your interests and stuff like that? You know.
So before I even started working at the detention center, I was working at Party City.
Mm-hmm.
I like to blow up balloons and I like to do parties and things like that.
Wait, you worked at Party City?
Yeah.
I didn't
When
know
Party
that.
City was still there. Yep, I started working there. That was my first job, actually like payroll type.
Oh yeah.
Because I was always playing sports in high school. I didn't really have a job. I would come down here to Joplin every summer to work with my uncle at the fireworks store. And then I started working at Party City.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID kind of got us shut down for a little while there. And then I was in my senior year of college, and I decided I didn't really want to work there anymore. I wanted to really just focus on school and figuring out what I wanted to do, because I was in the criminal justice classes. I just didn't know what I wanted to do the rest of my life.
Okay, so that makes sense because I don't remember you. When I came, I think it was your senior year. I don't remember you working for Party City at all.
I wasn't working anywhere.
Yeah.
So when we had graduation, I had interviewed for the detention job over at the detention center, and a week after we graduated, that was when I started at the detention center.
What was your car's name?
My gold car?
Yeah. Was it Sunflower?
No, it was Daisy.
Oh.
Daisy. My dad still has that car too.
Bro, I just remember you giving me a. I think we went to KFC and you was like, we gotta you said we gotta pray because I don't know if she's gonna turn over or something like that.
Yeah, Daisy, you never knew if she was gonna start or not.
And then
every time you locked the door, it made like a.
And then I remember when you got your Subaru, you sent me a picture. You was like, "This is much better than Daisy."
Yes. My Subaru's name is now Teeter.
Teeter.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. So.
What I think is very funny about Subarus is I don't know, just the stigmatism that's attached to them. I think that's funny. I'll tell you this, right? I won't name drop him, but I had a homie that used to work for Frank Fletcher, right? He worked for the Superstore, but he used to sell cars at all of the dealerships, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one day I test drove a truck that they had at the Subaru. It was a pre-owned truck, right? I was like, bro, these are some nice Subarus. He stopped and looked at me. We were walking to the truck, and he was like, I'll never sell you a Subaru. I was like, why? Because he was a family friend. I was like, why? He was like, the only people that buy Subarus, is either old people or right?
Yeah.
And what's crazy is after we got off the test drive, there was a lady having her BMW appraised that she was trying to trade in for a Subaru. And I'm not judging nobody, but by the looks of it, And he literally looked at me and said, "See, I told you." It was kind of funny. Not gonna lie. My sister-in-law drives a Subaru.
My coworkers harass me all the time about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. They say they're going to get me a sticker that says, not a lesbian.
You're like, Theodore's downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you always know you wanted to work with juveniles, or did life kind of throw you into that?
I think life kind of threw me into that. That was definitely when I first went to college. I didn't think I was gonna be like crime scene investigations. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And then I ended up taking a class with Chad Adams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he's still here or not.
Yeah, he is.
And then I started to look into that more, and I was like, oh, okay. And then Michaela started working there at the detention center, and she really liked it in the beginning, and it kind of just fell into my lap, really.
Yeah.
So.
Yo, shout out Chad. Chad's pretty dope.
Chad is awesome.
I had like 2 classes with him, and it was always funny because it always be walking around with a styrofoam cup.
Yep.
Right, and we're like, bro, what are you drinking? He was like, maybe bourbon, maybe coffee. He was like, I don't know, maybe that's why they don't let me teach ethics. I was like, that could be why.
Yeah.
It's like one of those moments where the memes where the girl's like, ooh, that could be pretty. Yeah, it's like yeah. So okay, all right. And I guess we should probably say we're not gonna name drop the agency that you work for, but what is your title?
I'm a deputy juvenile officer.
A deputy? What's the deputy for?
I don't know. It's always been that way. Originally, it was just juvenile officer, and then it goes into like deputy juvenile officer because, I mean, we were able to carry our guns at one point, but then something with the statute and everything like that, they ended up changing it so where we can't carry our guns anymore.
So you have they give you a firearm?
They did. They gave me a firearm when I first started.
Then they took it away.
Yeah, it was like a year later. A lot of things had changed at the building, and they looked in the statute, and they're like, "Well, we're not actually supposed to be carrying these," which sucked.
I remember seeing a Facebook post. They had posted like some like a lot of photos or whatever, and I remember seeing you with like a gun and a badge. I was like half asleep. I was like, bro, she's a secret agent.
I wish. I wish.
Okay, so we're gonna get into the first segment, right? We're gonna get into the first segment. So you basically said how you started working for juvenile detention already. Okay, so what's the difference between being in detention and a juvenile officer?
So in detention, you're with the kids every single day. You're doing phone calls, showers, visitation. I worked nights. Originally, I started on days, but I ended up switching to nights, and that's where I stayed until I moved upstairs. And you're with them every single day. You're feeling their emotions too. You're kind of like their right hand sometimes.
Yeah.
But when you become a juvenile officer, it's more of you have to be the bad guy in their situation. You have to lay it out how it is, everything like that. And you do that in detention too, but it's a lot more being on them and not really being able to like be their friend almost.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say in detention we weren't friends, but you were able to like be there for them and support them and
have more of a rapport with them.
Yeah. When you're a juvenile officer, they just kind of see you as the bad guy, and they don't really talk about that stuff a lot anymore.
So basically, if I hear this correctly, you're almost the juvenile you're basically the juvenile version of a probation officer?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because we have a probation officer, but the rest of us, we're in a unit called intake, where during the school year, we're based in the schools. So, like, all of us have our schools that we go to during the year. Okay. I'm usually at my school all the time. That way we can just, like, be there every day if something happens, something like that. And so, yeah.
Listen, man. Listen. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I know a lot about the juvenile office because I have a very bad sister-in-law, but it's funny, man. It's funny. Okay. Do you think your profession gets the respect it deserves?
No.
Why?
Never. Just because, when you're dealing with kids, they get a lot more chances than adults do. And that's the thing that I feel like some people don't really understand is that working with juveniles, it's more of trying to give them more chances rather than just taking them straight to jail, Like we have alternative programs that we can use, like diversion programs and everything like that, so they don't end up in detention.
Okay.
Adults don't really get that option. It's you do the crime, you do the time.
Very true.
But no, I feel like we don't really get respected that much. And, it is what it is at this point. We're still going to do our jobs, but...
Dang, you're only a couple questions in. You're already doing better than Theo. Oh, by the way, Theodore is in the studio. He's just silently sitting behind. Yeah. Okay. Which job do you think is actually harder, being a JO or a detention officer? Gotta give it.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That is hard. Because detention, you're working 12 hours. And night shift, I mean, you can either have a quiet night or you can have a back to back to back night.
Yeah.
But I I wouldn't really discredit either one of them. I think they're both hard.
You could have one of those nights where back in the day, the bad girls club. I ain't gonna get no sleep because of y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some nights kids really just want to, they're like, huh, I had a bad day, so you're going to have a bad day too.
I got a question. So I've seen on like crime shows where like people would be like kicking the door, like adults kick the door. Do juveniles do that?
Yeah, all the time. They'll kick the door, they'll punch the wall. When I first started in detention, I had a kid come in. He was out of it. I mean, he was on drugs, everything under the sun, and he ended up picking that bed frame up, which is not a light bed frame. And he had launched it into the door so many times he had actually shattered the window. So
It sounds like you may have incarcerated the Incredible Hulk.
yeah, believe it or not, there have been quite a few times like that. But that was my first ever somebody coming through the window. That's for sure.
Oh my god. Okay. What's something people assume about kids that is completely wrong?
That they're all bad. That they all just are. They're bad kids. They're not bad kids. Some of them have had bad lives. Some of them have trauma out the ass. It's just they're not all bad kids. Some of them are bad kids for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the assumption that everybody makes is they're bad kids. They need to be locked up, and everything under the sun. So that's one thing that people don't understand. They're not bad kids. They've had these terrible things happen to them, and nobody knows about it until they're in detention. And they finally tell somebody.
So that there can be some times where they're not bad kids. They've had really bad circumstances.
Yeah.
And them acting out is a product of their situation.
Yeah. Wholeheartedly. And sometimes they just act like that because they know they can act like that and they'll get away with it.
Yeah. Don't I know it? Don't I know it? She literally told me one time, she's like, I don't know why they keep making me do these drug tests. I'm not gonna stop smoking. I'm like, bro. And I mean, like, I try to be like the cool, like, older brother per se. She's my sister-in-law, but I try to be the cooler older brother. I'm like, all right, bro, you do what you do. But sometimes I'm like, man, listen, dog, listen. It's gonna keep happening to you.
Yeah, it's just gonna keep happening, and sometimes they just don't want to quit, and they have to be able to quit on their own terms. You can put so many services in place, so many programs in place, but at the end of the day, it's their choice.
I think one of the stupidest things I saw from this past week, I posted one of the clips, and I sent it actually to Theo. I posted one of the clips from his episode, and someone was like, we were talking about like you can't make them change. They have to be ready. And it was like someone was like, "Oh, you can't tell me about this unless you walked in my shoes and say like there's no other option." And I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" He literally was saying that there is like only a certain amount of things that they can do to try to prevent this behavior. But if they don't want to change, then there's literally nothing you can do. He was like, "Oh, then you force them to change." I'm like, "You literally just said something so stupid."
Yeah, you can't force them to change at all. You can tell them what they're gonna do and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you can't force kids to do anything.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I found with almost a year of doing social media now with this whole podcast thing is like reading and understanding is really fundamental. Like you have to like pay attention. And I realized what a lot of people do is, because I find myself doing it on TikTok and stuff like that, is like they'll comment something while the video is going, so they're not really paying attention to what comes after what they said, what they heard. They're just making a comment based off what was said, but they're not following up with like, here's why I said this. But, yeah. Okay. What's the biggest misconception people have about juveniles or the office itself?
I I think a lot of the misconceptions that we run into is that we can fix all of their kids, that we're there to fix their child, but it's not that way at all. We can't fix anybody's child. Like I said before, kids have to be ready to change and be ready to sit down and do what they need to do, you know. Um, but yeah, a lot of people come out, walking in and they're like, "I need you to fix my kid," and you know, we can't do that. You know, that's something.
Like,
It,
bro, I'm not a magician.
we can be a step in the process for sure, but it all, like, a lot of it starts at home. It starts at school. You know, having the appropriate services in place to help them. You know, and I feel like the juvenile office really gets. I feel like a lot of people, like you said earlier, we don't really get the respect that we deserve. You
Mhm.
know, and that's something that's hard to deal with a lot. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, at the end of the day, we're still going to do our jobs.
And then I bet it's one of those situations where the kid comes home after, like, let's say, a stay in detention or like being put on probation and stuff, and they're still acting the same way. Then automatically they feel like you guys aren't doing anything.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Or the police come out to the house and the police decide to leave the child there because, you know, we can't bring every kid in for just having an argument, just a verbal altercation. You
yeah,
know, that's not something we do.
yeah,
When it comes to like getting physical and everything like that, sure, we could probably bring them in for a hold.
hmm
But, you know, the parents got to be willing to come and get them. And sometimes the parent isn't willing to come and get them.
yeah. And that's what I used to tell, because I learned that from working in dispatch, and I used to tell my mother-in-law a lot about it. She's like, she broke this, or she broke this or something like that. I'm like, bro, I'm calling the cops. I'm like, bro, nothing's gonna happen. It's all based on to the on-call JO's discretion. Like, if it's not like a terrible amount of things, I mean, like, bro, you're just wasting the cops' time at that point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And they get frustrated too. Like officers get frustrated with us when they're having to go out to the house constantly. And I understand that frustration too. You know, they have better things to be doing.
yeah,
Um, but a lot of the times, you know, if they're going out 3 or 4 times after that, after however many times, yeah, we're probably going to bring him for a hold.
yeah,
But he's still going to end up going back to the house.
yeah. Um, what's one story you'll probably never forget?
In detention or.
It doesn't matter.
Hmm, that's a hard one. I don't know. I've been there so long. You know, I started in detention in 2022 and now I'm upstairs and um I'm trying to think. I already told you one of the stories that I would never forget, that kid. There was so let's talk about upstairs. Um so some of what we deal with, we have our child abuse and neglect unit, and then we have our intake unit, and then we have probation.
Mm-hmm.
So child abuse and neglect, they get removals a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There was one day that a mom had came to sign away her rights for her autistic child,
Yeah.
and it was a very hard scene because, you know, they're upstairs, they're in one of the meeting rooms, and you know, they're trying to get them separated.
Yeah.
But this child has, I mean, that's his mom. You know, she knows his daily schedule, everything like that, and now she's wanting to give him away. You know, that was a very emotional day. I think I turned to one of my buddies and I was like, I understand, but I don't understand.
Yeah. And I've always said that as a parent, like, my one of the things that as a parent that hurts me, and I'm not really an emotional guy all the time, but I think one of the things that hurts me is, as a parent, like, seeing another parent, or like just the thought of looking at my kids and be like, I don't want you, so I'm gonna sign my rights away. I'm gonna just not take
Yeah.
care of you. I'm gonna give you up. And like, there are circumstances where the parents are not able to take care of the children, so
Yeah.
they have them adopted by a nice family or something like that. But just like volunteering, just saying I don't want you, I think that's like that's heart wrenching for me.
Yeah. It's extremely emotional. It's a lot of the emotions that come with it. And it's like it's not our situation, but it's a situation that we have to deal with, and you can still feel that all those emotions that the family's feeling too. And and I feel like the proper resources weren't in place for this family.
Yeah.
And she needed to make a decision, and that's the decision she made. And
Man, and then it like sparks the question like, do they? I mean, do they still think about them after that, or like it's just like you're like once
yeah.
I sign this paper, I'm like mentally done. Like you don't think about it's like that one secret that you like take to the grave. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just never gonna think about you again. You know?
I feel like in certain situations with some parents, I feel like they do just kind of forget. I think it really just depends on the situation, because there's some that just can't take care of their child, or they're dealing with addiction, um or they're dealing with things like such as like abuse and everything like that.
Well,
And I feel like it really just depends on that situation if they still think about their kids or not.
yeah. Okay. What's the craziest thing you walked into it at work?
Um, there hasn't really been anything upstairs. I would say more when I was working downstairs. There was one night where I walked in, and the all you walk in through the back, and then you go through the kitchen door, and then all the kids' rooms are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking by, and I mean, you can see the door shaking.
Mm-hmm.
One of the kids is just losing their minds. And they just continue on until, you get in there, you're doing your, I don't even know what it's called now.
We're gonna call it intervention.
Your report for the day, report for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And then that one's losing their mind. And then you look out the control room, and there's one of the kids just chucking their shoes at the door, and it's just like, what's wrong with you?
Like, yeah.
Why are you melting down now?
Yeah. Is it? Do you guys? I mean, they're juveniles. Do you guys have cameras in their room?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I didn't know if it was like adult prison where they don't have cameras.
No.
Because I know they need that certain level of privacy, but I don't know. I didn't know if you guys needed to know what they're doing or whatever.
Yeah, juveniles have, they don't have any cameras in their room.
What's the hardest part about your job? We're talking upstairs now. What's the hardest part?
Yeah. Not taking it home. It's hard to not take it home with you. Like, some days it's pretty easy, you don't have to like worry about taking it home or anything like that. But then there's some days that are hard, like that one that I was just telling you about. And that was before I even became a parent, before I became a mom. And I was still bawling like a baby. I was bawling like a baby all the way home. And there have been more instances like that too. Some days I'll just drive home and I'll cry, and it's just like, you got to get it out because you don't want to bring it home to your family, and I feel like that's the hardest thing, is dealing with your emotions on top of having to deal with your job.
I'm sorry, I just got the funniest image in my head of like pulling up next to you at the red light, and you're just like holding the stairs, bawling, just bawling.
Yeah, there have been some days where people looking over like, what is wrong with her?
Yeah, I get that. I think I told Theodore this story, but when my kid was about to be born, Morgan was pregnant with him. And when I worked at dispatch, we had gotten a call for a 4-month-old boy that was like unconscious and not breathing, and he later passed away. And they got him through. They got the parent through the first aid instructions or whatever. EMS got there and they got the child to the hospital, but he passed away, and that was so hard for me not like taking that home, because we're getting ready to have a baby, and I'm like, bro, my baby's gonna be 4 months,
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get that though. Have you? What's the funniest? What's one of the funniest things that ever happened to you at work? Like Theodore told a story that he was like, just watching one of his staff get hit with a chair after the kid told him, "I'm gonna hit you with this chair."
That was a pretty funny one. I got to watch that too.
Oh my
Um,
gosh!
something funny. Hmm. I don't know. Not a lot of funny goes on in my job.
I was about to say,
When I was working in detention, there was some pretty funny stuff, but working upstairs, I mean, a lot of us upstairs have dark humor just because that's one of the ways to get through all the emotions that we
Yeah.
have to deal with upstairs and a
Yeah.
lot of the situations that we have to be put in. Yeah, I can't really think of anything. I mean, getting hit with a chair is pretty funny, but I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. Have you ever been scared on your job? Whether downstairs or upstairs, has there ever been a moment where you were scared?
Yeah, for sure. Especially after losing our guns, for sure. Just because you never know what's gonna happen at the school.
Mm-hmm.
You never know if you're gonna be the next school that's on the television for
Yeah.
a school shooting or. I was scared. I was scared for a while after that happened. But I mean, I would say that's really the only time, or when like a kid's pretty volatile and you have to take them to court and you don't know how they're gonna act. You don't know if they're gonna rear back and punch you in the face, or they're gonna punch a parent in the face.
I think I was kind of scared for him. Like when last week when Theo told me that story, and he was well, he didn't tell me a story, but he told me an instance where he was like, "So you're basically telling me that this kid that has a mental disability and act out and all sorts of stuff, I got to go hands on with this kid."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. So okay. Have you ever had a juvenile completely disrespect you?
No, not really. I
Dang.
mean, there have been a few that just come into a meeting with an attitude and not really being respectful, things like that. But I wouldn't really say they've fully disrespected me.
Dang, so Theodore is just a wimp.
Yeah. Yeah. I did think of a funny story now, though, too, while I was working in detention.
Would you like to share it?
Yeah, I can. So usually the kids, they'll do their showers, phone call, snack around the same time.
Mhm.
And there was one night where I was working nights, and I'm sitting in the control room. I was running shift, and this kid comes knocking on the door that's outside of the control room.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize, where the hell are your clothes? He just got out of the shower, got a towel, but he's no clothes on. So he's standing there in the towel, pretty much naked, and I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He goes, I don't have any clothes. Okay, go back in the shower. Nobody wants to see that.
So, I mean, what did he want you to do?
I couldn't leave the control room. I was like, somebody's out there. Why are you knocking on the door asking? Like, somebody is out there. Go ask, and he will get you clothes. But go back in the shower, man.
Bro, he's like, hey, I just wanted to come say hi.
I was sitting out there with his willy worm, under a towel. Like, come on, man.
Did you just say willy worm? Oh my gosh. That's funny. That's funny, bro. I just wanted to come say hi. Hi. Okay. What's the youngest kid you ever worked with that made you think, man, this isn't fair?
So detention, we're only allowed to bring in kids that are 12 to 17.
Mm-hmm.
I think the youngest I've dealt with is 11. And it was a pretty messed up situation. But there's not a lot of services that we can offer to any kid that's like 11. And I mean, he was a tiny, tiny kid. He was small. I met with him at the school, and I was like, you are tiny. I was like, you're a baby. I was like, why are you doing this?
It's like, because I want to.
Yeah. Yeah. I was stupid. I didn't mean to do it. And then they start crying, and they're just like, oh, I feel bad for you.
So is it still is it seeing as you've been doing it so long and you've dealt with so many kids, is it hard for you to have sympathy like for like kids?
No, not really.
Uh,
I feel like that's really never changed. I always will have sympathy for some kids, but some kids they've just ran out. My sympathy has ran out for them, um, because I've done numerous things for them. I've done numerous programs and services so we can avoid, detention and
yeah.
being put on probation and everything like that. But
So now, with your years of experience, right? Can you tell, like, let's say a new kid comes in, right, and he starts crying or whatever? Can you tell right off the bat if he's running a game?
yes and no,
Mm,
because sometimes they'll come in crying, but sometimes that's just part of the manipulation game.
yeah.
They want you to think like, oh, I'm innocent. I'm everything under the sun, and everybody is innocent until proven guilty, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just one of those things that you pick up on. Is this a manipulation game, or are these real tears?
Mm,
So some of them you can, but some of them you can't. Some of them come in, it's just like, oh, you're gonna be a one and done. You're not gonna come back.
yeah.
But some of them you're just like, oh, I'll be seeing you again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'll see you around, but
yeah, I'll see you around.
okay. What's the most rewarding moment you've experienced?
So every year, some of the kids that get sent to DYS, Division of Youth Programs,
Mm-hmm.
or Division of Youth Services. Damn.
Yeah.
Um, so some of them will go and finish their GED, their high set, or their high school graduation, and everything like that.
Yeah.
I really, really like to go to those because I see a lot of the kids that I had in detention when I was still working down there. Some of the kids I worked upstairs with,
Mhm.
and they're graduating and they're walking across the stage, and they're getting their diplomas, or they're winning their awards like for scholarships and everything like that, or they're giving the valedictorian speech.
Okay.
And I feel like that is such a rewarding process after everything that they've done.
Yeah.
They can have that moment with their family, and I love watching that. It is probably one of my favorite things to go to every year. I've went to 2 so far, and this last one, I got to see one of my kids that I had when I had just moved upstairs, and
Mhm.
he was still in detention. And it was so nice to see the better side of him.
Yeah.
And then I saw another one. I looked at him and I was like, "Do you remember me?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I hugged him. I was like, "Oh, I'm sappy."
Do you think juvenile detention actually helps kids or just delays bigger problems?
I think a mixture of both.
Okay.
And here's why I think that. I think for some kids, I think it's their real wake up call
Mm-hmm.
that, we're not messing around. This is where you're going to end up if you keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these kids, detention was their safe place.
Mm-hmm.
It was where they had a bed and clothes and food. And then some of them, it was just, they knew the routine.
3 hots and a cot.
Yeah. So, I feel like sometimes it really just depends on the kid. It really
Okay.
just depends on the kid. So,
Okay. Do you think? Oh, no. Wrong question. If you could change one thing about the juvenile justice system tomorrow, what would it be? Seeing that tomorrow's a Sunday, but I mean,
yeah.
you know the question.
Like anything?
Yeah, anything.
I don't know. I would want to change the stigma around it. Just like that we don't do anything.
Okay.
I don't. When we work we are law enforcement,
Yeah.
considering. Obviously, we don't do what police officers do every single day, or firefighters, anything under the sun like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like we deserve to be respected the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we have a different process of doing that, but I kind of just wish we could all just be like a team.
Yeah.
Like all could work together And with my school and the police officers that I work with, they're great. You know, they never make me feel any different, anything like that. They're great. But I feel like I wish that everybody could have that same relationship as we do. So.
Okay. That is actually a very good answer.
Well, I hope so, because I kind of just derailed it.
Do you think parents get enough blame or not enough? Wait. Do you think, parents get enough blame or not enough?
I feel like myself being as a parent, before I was a parent, I really did feel like parents were to blame sometimes. But then I became a parent, and then I kind of got a different outlook on it. I feel like parents do as much as they can. They'll do everything for their kid, you know, but then there comes a point where you have to ask for help.
Yeah.
So parents, I mean, some parents are to blame for sure, because they're not parenting their kids. They're not telling them, you know, you can't be doing this.
Yeah.
You know, they're not disciplining their kids. But then there's some parents, they're disciplining their kids and they're still doing this stuff and they need help. So I think every parent is in their own different situation, you know, and I don't think parents should be discredited, obviously, but
yeah, I think a part of that I recently just found out. I was scrolling on Facebook and a post came across from the Good People of Joplin group, and it was a lady talking about telling parents to be mindful of their children and what their children are saying. She was like, I was at Schifferdecker Pool, and these group of like maybe 5 or 6 kids were like all together, and she's like, they're probably no older than like 13, 14, and they're talking about sexual behavior in front of these like 5-year-old kids. And then just to see how much like parents are in the comments, like defending it, oh, kids will be kids, or don't act like you never did. She's like, that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
She was like, we're not talking about back in the day when I was a kid. We're talking about now. Like, why would they be doing that in front of like these 5-year-old kids?
Yeah.
So yeah,
kids do the silliest thing nowadays.
Okay. Is there something you wish every parent knew before their child ever entered the system?
I hope they know that, like, reaching out for help, it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you can't control your kid, you know? It's just you need the help and you've done everything you can, you know? So don't discredit yourself. You know, you're doing everything you can for your kid. And sometimes that's too much, and they need help from outside resources, and don't think that's a bad thing for asking for help, you know? Because I still do the same thing, you know? I don't want to ask for help. I don't want people to think I'm weak.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, some days you need help.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So.
Okay. That's a pretty good answer. Okay, so we're gonna move into the second segment, right? This is personally my favorite. This segment is literally called Theodore. Theodore, right? Theodore. Okay. So you said that there were some misconceptions.
Yes.
About the things that he talked about pertaining to you and your relationship.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I got a couple questions and we're going to get to the bottom of things, right? What's the biggest lie Theodore told on the last episode?
So when he texts me, and sometimes I say okay back, I just say, you know, okay, AY, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget to add the babe on there.
Okay.
Yeah. But obviously when he just says okay, I think he's pissed off.
Yeah.
So
you don't love me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that movie Obsession, that girl in the corner.
Oh,
freaky.
Man, listen. I'm gonna stick a pin in it, right? Obsession. Now, I'm not a scary movie type of person, right? But me and 2 of the homies went to go watch it, right? I wouldn't say the movie was scary. I would say it's more disturbing.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
And the amount of memes after that just freaked me out. And then her voice just like crying and saying no. That was like burned into my memory.
Yeah, I love scary movies, and I watched that one. We watched that one the other night, and I was like, I need to go take a shower after that.
Yeah.
Because why did that just give me the biggest ick
Yeah.
of my life?
Yeah. And like when he left and he came back and she was just standing there covered in pee and oh man. Ugh.
Nasty.
Oh.
Nasty.
Oh, that movie was disturbing. Okay. What's something Theodore conveniently left out?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I have to watch it again.
He did make you sound like, you know.
He made me sound terrible. I swear, I'm not that bad.
She says this while staring at Theodore.
I'm not.
What's one thing Theodore does that drives you absolutely crazy? That makes you like obsession level.
Obsession level?
Yeah.
So sometimes when Theo's chewing, he will chew with his mouth open. And sometimes when you're listening to Theo chew, he's almost like moaning while he's eating. Moaning.
Oh my god.
Or when he's trying to cough in the morning and he can't, get it out. So he just keeps going, ugh, ugh. Over and right now.
Bro.
That's already my pet peeve. People chewing loud around me.
I have never, in my 26 years of living, heard someone slightly moan when they
swear. I swear. It sounds like it.
Bro, listen. I get ticked off very easily. But like it's like little things, right? My daughter in my car, she sits behind me, right? So if she's eating a snack and I hear it smacking, I go ballistic. No, I'm not like yelling or anything, but it's almost like to the point of like, and you'll understand this as your kid gets older. You get like you gaslight your kid. It's almost like I got the wheel and I'm like, Avy? She's like, yeah. I'm like, listen, do you love daddy very much? Yeah. Do you want daddy to wreck this car right now? No? Then okay. In order for daddy not to wreck this car, I'm gonna need you to stop smacking in daddy's car, okay? No, I'm like, the other night we were sitting at the dinner table and she was sitting right here and she started smacking and Morgan instantly looked at me and she's like, baby, I'm gonna need you to stop. I'm gonna need you to stop. I don't know if daddy can handle it.
It is so bad.
And especially in like a confined space. Like if I'm in the kitchen and you're smacking in the bedroom, I don't care. Okay, just don't do it close to me.
Yeah, don't do it close to me at all.
Who apologized first after arguments?
Theo, all the time.
Okay.
Theo is very much a let's talk about the problem now. I'm pissed. Please do not let me talk about the situation right now because anger is going to fly out of my mouth and I am not going to mean half the stuff that comes out of my mouth.
I had to put my binoculars on. It almost looks like you're Morgan. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He is very much the calm, like, let's talk about this now. My heart's pounding out of my chest and I'm about to say a million things that are going to be very mean.
Yeah, Morgan's like, oh, you made my chest tight. Get away from me, Arthur. I'm like, chest tightness?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, bro. And then I'll try to talk about the issue, and then she won't want to talk about it, and then it'll come out later that she's like really mad about it. I'm like, why didn't you just? I'm trying. I was trying to talk to you about this. I could have apologized then, but I don't want to sound misogynistic or anything, right? But you know what's one thing that women do that I hate? Like when they're in the wrong, they just can't apologize and just be wrong. They get upset because we're upset. Okay, now I gotta apologize for something I didn't even do.
Yeah, no, I do that all the time. Yeah.
So-
Did you say all the time too?
Bro, listen, I'm telling you, married life is different.
Yeah.
And what's another thing I hate? Another thing I hate is I hate when Morgan plans for me.
Yeah.
When she tells someone, "Oh yeah, we'll come over and hang out, or we can do this," without consulting me, and then tells me last minute. Oh my god! I always suppose I was planning world domination this day.
Yeah.
You just ruined my plans.
Yeah. So that happens to us sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay. Who's actually more stubborn?
Me.
Gosh.
Me, wholeheartedly. I feel like wouldn't you agree? Who's more stubborn?
Theodore, this is a trick question.
I could be just as stubborn as you could be.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot more you telling me you're so fucking stubborn than me telling you
Good answer, Theodore. That was a trick question.
Yeah.
You gotta go home with her. I don't. Who's more dramatic?
Theo.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. It's me. It's me, wholeheartedly. It's me.
Well, it really sounds like you're the problem. Nah, I'm kidding. What's one thing everybody thinks about Theo that's completely wrong? Okay, this is your chance. You have the floor.
Say it again.
What's one thing that people think? Wait, hold on. I gotta know my own question. What's one thing everybody thinks about Theodore that's completely wrong?
I don't know, because he's such a kind human being, and that's very hard.
Audience, you heard it here first. She's lying. She's trying to keep it a secret. Nah, I'm kidding.
No, I don't know. I really don't.
Okay.
He's very kind, but when he's mad, he does a very good job of hiding his mad until we get in the car after work, and he's like, "You're not gonna believe what just happened." And it just comes out, and we're just like, "Who are you? You're never this angry."
Yeah. I think that's
the secret. He has a hidden anger that nobody else gets to see.
Yeah, I think that's how I am. Morgan be like, "Oh," she'll be asking me like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nah."
Yeah, Theo does not like to tell anybody how he actually feels.
Because if I tell you how I feel,
even me.
Yeah, if I tell you how I feel, then you're gonna get upset because I feel this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so this last segment is called "Becoming a Mom." Right? I think women face a lot of trials and tribulations that aren't publicized enough. Call me a feminist. Power to the women.
Respect.
Yeah. I think they face a lot of issues and stuff that are not publicized as enough. And I think it should be out there.
Yeah.
You've been a mom for what, like 6 months now?
6 months.
6 months. So, okay. What's something nobody warned you about becoming a mom?
Nobody really warned me. I mean, everybody talked about postpartum and everything like that, but nobody really warned me that it would actually feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like how I would actually feel, because some nights I couldn't sleep. The first week we were home with Veda, I cried every single night for bed. And some nights I couldn't sleep. I would just sit there staring at her, making sure she was still breathing and making sure she was okay. And they don't tell you about, like, they tell you about postpartum depression, but they don't tell you, like, some of the things, like, that you see sometimes, like, that you dream. Because your dreams are really intense, like, all of the hormones coming out of your body. I was sweating every single night. Like, I would wake up and I would have never sweat that much in my life. And there'd be, like, terrible things that, like, their thoughts and everything like that. Nobody really warned me how bad the thoughts would actually be.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I remember when Morgan just had Theo, and I remember, like, it wouldn't be like I was waking up in the middle of the night to make sure he was still asleep, but like any little, like, sound or
Yeah.
movement or anything, I'm like,
Yep.
"You alive, dog?" Sometimes I used to put my hand on his back to make sure he's still breathing.
Yep.
Yeah,
We do that too.
I still do that to this day.
Yeah.
And he's 2 years old now. Like last night he was like so tired, and I put him to bed in his crib and everything, and he was just like, because our baby monitor, it goes to sleep after if there's no sound in the room, it goes to sleep.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's terrifying.
yeah. So every time I click the button, he's in like a different position, but he's like asleep. He's not moving or anything.
Yeah.
So last night I went in his room, and as soon as I opened the door, his head moved a little bit. I was like, "Oh, good, okay, cool." So I covered him back up and left. So it's like little things I gotta check on, bro. But,
Yeah.
okay. What's something you swore you would never do as a parent but did?
That's hard. So I breastfed Veda I only breastfed Veda for like 2 weeks, and then I pumped for until she was 5 months. 5 months is when I stopped pumping, and I really wanted to make it to the full year of pumping, but I just couldn't. I mean, nobody tells you how much how your feelings, how your hormones are and everything, because you're still postpartum. Even when you're breastfeeding or pumping. I mean, they're both the same thing. It's just not coming directly from. But I really didn't want to do formula until like she was 1.
Yeah.
But my mindset was I'm gonna make it till I can't anymore, and then we hit 5 months, and I was done. You know, it made me feel. It's a beautiful thing to do for your child, but it's also one of the most draining things of your life.
Yeah, Morgan, she breastfed Theo, and by Theo I mean my son, by the way. Yeah, she was trying, but she fell. She had seen a lactation specialist in the hospital and everything, and she just fell under one of that group of women that just doesn't produce as much as other women. So
Yeah.
I think she tried for like maybe like a month and a half. And so we would like supplement him with formula and breast milk, and then like some days she would like pump all day at like certain times throughout the day, and it was only like 8 ounces.
Yeah.
And so she tried like, it was funny because she had tried like these cookies that are supposed to help
lactation cookies.
Yeah, but she's allergic to something in them. And like, so she'd be eating it and then like scratching her palms. She tried like tea.
Yep.
Liquid IV, all sorts of like hydration stuff, but it just didn't work out. So
it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think another thing that nobody told me was how bad your nipples would hurt. You know.
Yeah.
Like nobody told you that until, you know, you're sitting there and this child is trying to eat, and you're just like, "Are you trying to kill me? Are you trying to kill me?"
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, trying to maintain your supply it's such a demand.
Yeah.
And it was so hard, you know, because like having to get up in the middle of the night and still trying to figure out how to pump when he was going back to work, it was just one of those things like I couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. What's the hardest adjustment? What's been the hardest adjustment these last 6 months?
I feel like it was a hard adjustment. I don't know. There was a lot of adjustments to be made. Oh, spit up.
Gosh, I have so many videos of Theodore like spitting in my beard, on my shoes, on my shirt. I ruined so many shirts with it. Oh gosh.
Yeah, every single time. I think just adjusting to be a mom, you know, like it's a hard adjustment because like before we could go and like just go.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, oh, we have to make sure you have this, and this.
Yeah.
And like sleeping in, like you want to sleep in on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No more sleeping in.
And I tell my friends because I'm friends with like a lot of like, uh, well, I say a lot, like three people that are like single non-parents, right? And I'm like, bro, I tell them all the time, I'm like, bro, y'all just can't plan stuff like on a whim. Like last night, one of the homies was telling me like he was like, bro, it's 8:30, and he's saying, oh, we're pulling up to downstream at 9:30. You should pull up. I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
I said, bro, we were talking about this earlier this week. I told you to let me know if this was actually happening. He's like, oh, well, I just found out 10 minutes ago. I'm like, bro, my wife is working a double and it's just me home with the kids. I have no one to babysit them.
Yeah.
So I can't do this. Like, if
Yeah.
he was like, what time did she get off? I was like 11. He was like, you should pull up after. We're probably still gonna be here. I'm like, 11 p.m. dog. I gotta drive 25, like 20,
Yeah.
25 minutes to get there. No.
No.
So yeah, it's hard. Like you got to think about so many things. Like, and you got to plan so much stuff. Like if you want to go out somewhere, you gotta plan this.
Yeah.
I think that's like that's something I feel like single non-parent people can't fathom.
Yeah. No, they can't.
Yeah.
There's so many adjustments too. Like been so many adjustments.
Yeah.
Like going to work and dropping her off at daycare, and then hoping that she doesn't have a fever or anything like that, and you don't have to pick her up. And then you're thinking about, oh well, how many hours do I have? How many hours can I take? If she gets sick, who's gonna take off? Are we gonna both take off? There's so many different like adjustments.
Yeah, I drive every day. I was telling Theodore about it. I drive every day to the babysitter from Joplin all the way to Carl Junction, and back to the other side of Joplin every day,
Yeah.
5 days a week to take him to the babysitter. She's a family friend and she's cheaper, but I'm paying for gas. My car gets terrible gas miles. I pay for gas every other day.
Yeah.
I need gas right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's one moment you realize I'm somebody's mom now?
I think I don't know. There's been so many of those moments. I feel like those first couple nights in the hospital with her, just looking at her, and just being like, oh, wow, like you just came out of me like I'm your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And at first you don't really feel like, I didn't really feel like a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really feel that way until like, she starts like smiling at me or rolling over or smiling at me right now. I feel like that's kind of when I felt like I was a mom. Like I was like, oh wow, I'm your mom.
Where'd you have her, Freeman or Mercy?
Freeman.
It's because everyone's so invasive. Like they're coming in every so often, because Morgan had a C-section, and like it was always they're coming in to check the seal and everything, and all the time. I remember when we finally got discharged, taking him home, like for that like first like 3 days to a week. When he starts crying, I'm like, yo, can someone come get their kid?
Yeah.
You're like, bro,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, your kid's crying now, dog.
Like on the drive home, it was just the weekend that we were supposed to have this big snowstorm, and we did, and we had gotten to leave on Sunday, and it's still freezing out, the snow's still everywhere, and we're driving home, and we get home, and it's just like, oh shit, I'm a mom. Like
yeah, you're like, bro, come take your kid, dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you utilize the nursery while you were
I
there?
did.
Oh
my! So the first night, we used the nursery because I wanted to sleep. I hadn't slept.
Mm-hmm.
I think so I went into labor the night before, and I ended up getting my epidural around 3 a.m. And then I was only able to sleep like a couple hours in between here and there. And so yeah, I utilized it that first night. And the second night, I had them bring her in every 3 hours so I could feed her and everything like that. And that second night was a lot harder than the first, just because somebody's coming in, waking you up, and you're having to feed your kid, and breastfeeding, it still triggers like contractions and everything. So you're trying to feed your kid, but you're also fighting for your life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget the first night after we had him. It was a scheduled C-section. So it was like, I think it was scheduled for like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or something like that. But they wanted us to the hospital at like 5 a.m. or like
Yeah.
6, I think. So we're up for that morning. There was so much going on. And then I still worked a couple hours at night. So by time, I think I worked from like 4 to like midnight or something like that. And when I had gotten back, she was waiting up for me and she was holding him or whatever, and she had put him to sleep. And she put him in his bedside bassinet in the hospital, and I'm so tired and she's so tired, and we switched off the lights and we're going to sleep, and he starts like coughing, and we're like up. We're like, what the hell? So we turn on the lights, make sure he's good and everything, and then I was like, Morgan, we gotta do it. Because she didn't want to do it. I was like, bro, we gotta do it. If we're gonna get any sort of sleep. She's like, okay. Picked up that phone. I need a pickup. Come get him.
Yeah.
And they took care of him, and it was cool. We would actually, well, I didn't really get any sleep because stupid couch. I couldn't. I was actually too tall for the couch. So yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, and it makes you feel guilty too when you send them in the nursery and like you just want some sleep, and and then you sit there and you sit awake and you're just like, I already miss her.
Yeah, and like,
bring her back, but then I'm like, oh, I gotta get some sleep.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Has becoming a mom changed the way you see the juveniles you work with?
Yes, definitely, because a lot of the time before, it was, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know. You see it different when you become a parent. You kind of try to put yourself in the parent's shoes and see, like, what can I do better? What can I do to help and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it definitely changed my aspect on it for sure.
Okay.
So.
And the final question, and I'm going to set a timer for this. For 1 minute. Right? The question is, if you had 1 minute to speak directly to every parent in America, what would you say? 1 minute starts. Hold on. If you had 1 minute to speak directly to every parent, what would you say? Speaking from a parent's perspective, speaking from a job perspective, if you had 1 minute to say anything to every parent in America, what would you say? Starting now.
I would probably tell them that, I don't even know what I'd tell them, honestly. Honestly, I don't really know. I just hope that you love your children to the fullest extent, and I hope that you understand that there's going to be bad days, obviously. There's going to be some days where you butt heads, but then you're going to look at your child one day and you're going to think, oh my gosh, you used to fit in my arm, you used to fit in my belly, And I hope every parent realizes, like, you brought something amazing into this world, and now you need to put in to that something amazing and make it even better. Make them into an amazing human being. Yeah. Love your kids. Treat your kids right. Listen to your kids, what they're telling you.
15 seconds.
15 seconds. Yeah. Treat your kids right. Show them respect. They'll show respect. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Love your kids.
Love your kids, man. Love your kids. And just like that, it's been 1 minute. Well, you heard the lady. Love your kids, man. Love your kids. And with that being said, it's been another wonderful episode of the Funny on My Mind podcast. I personally think that you did very well.
Thank you.
You brought a whole lot of expertise to the podcast that I otherwise didn't think of, or Theodore didn't let me in to know the secrets, And Theo, stop chewing with your mouth open and moaning. Okay, you understand me? The food ain't that good that you need to do that. All right. But You guys can stream the podcast on all your favorite streaming platforms, whether it's YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music. New episodes every week at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, no later, no earlier. You can follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms for clips of every episode, whether it be TikTok, YouTube for shorts. I always forget Instagram or Facebook. We post clips throughout the entire week, every day. And with that being said, Alyssa, there's only one thing left to do. You have to redeem yourself.
I'm ready.
Listen, this is the last clap of the episode. If you mess this up, you bring dishonor to your family, dishonor to you, dishonor to your cow, all that. Dishonor.
My cow?
Yeah, your cow.
My cows? My heifers?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. That was weak, but okay. We'll take it.
I did my best.
She did her best.